It's another edition of Monday Night Madness on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we come to the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway in Port Royal, Pennsylvania. No rain here one bit. It's all sun. Round number 6 of Monday Night Madness for the Coast to Coast Racing Leagues. We kick things off as always with our B Division Sprint Cars. It's the Rebels, and as always, the Rebels are brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. The Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway. Very fast, high bank. Danger can strike at any second. One of the most vicious tracks the Coast to Coast Racing League goes to. And we're so glad you could be a part of it this evening. Live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network again. So glad you could join us. Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman and Dean Reynolds. Zach, as we come to the port, I said it earlier in the top of the show. Danger can strike at any moment, and I look back at a couple seasons ago, we had all the wrecks break out.
Yeah, I mean, when you're entering the corner at 120 some mile an hour, sometimes 130 if you get it right, you know, stuff happens really fast, and if the guy decides he's going to take a low line into the corner, you've got to react quick and try to give him that space or try to dart up high. Stuff just happens so quick, and you're exiting the corner so fast that, I mean, mistakes happen, and I'm sure we're going to see a couple tonight.
Dean Reynolds, this place is also known for close finishes at the end. You go back to last season in the Renegades, and it was Patrick Spangler, the hometown guy, over Blake Chapman in a last lap pass. Could we see it once again in either division tonight?
Well, isn't this also what Terry Landis got his big upset?
Yes, it was.
So that just shows that anything can happen at the port. Because, you know, it's rough up top. The guys that are good up top are they're going to try to wing it up there and see what they can do. The guys that don't feel that confident are going to go in the middle or the bottom. And it's going to be racy, but as me and Zach have been talking, as we've been doing laps, his track's burned off. It's slick coming off, especially off 2. So it's going to be a combination of patience and speed, if that's possible.
Here's a look at how this track currently looks at the moment. Very slick throughout Port Royal, Pennsylvania. And you see the times on the board. Brandon Templeton, currently the quickest at a 15.50. Stephen Goldner, second quickest with a 15.64. Jacob Musso rounds out the top 3 at a 15.65. As we look at the Rebels division, it has been a B-Temp season. However, though, he's got a close opponent behind him, and he was under the radar coming on into the season here. He's not currently with us on the roster at the moment. I don't know if he'll be with us tonight, but the Ripper, Lance Ripka, 2 points behind B-Temp coming into tonight, Zach.
Yeah, Templeton, I mean, he had a great run last week. He really surprised the field and won the A-Series race. You know, it's the amount of experience this guy has with the boys like Dan McLaren, Daniel Blau. I mean, he just got so much experience, and he really puts on a show. Hopefully he can make it here tonight, but if not, that's what the drop weeks are for.
This has been a season full of Brandon Templeton, Stephen Goldner, and Isaac Salas. Goldner is with us in a brand new paint scheme. You're about to see him in heat race number 1. The first heat race of the evening is brought to you by our friends at Flatline Racing Flatline Racing Bodies. Quality racing bodies produced by Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 1. It's Superman, Kurt Schatzer. He starts on pole position. Next, the driver of the number 30, that's Stephen Goldner. Row number 2, Brad Waite in car number 814. Next to him, it's Joe Backus in the 46. Row 3, Gary Offut. He's in the number 94. Next to him, Brian Dickens in the 122. Rounding out the field, it's the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747. Had a wild wreck in practice when I showed up. Had all 4 wheels off the ground, was flipping violently, lost the top wing. But hey, that's just practice, and that's just Port Royal for you. Who knows what's going to happen here tonight? And, of course, if you are new to the Coast to Coast Racing League, we do the starting lineups for heats via a random pill draw. We do not do qualifying on Monday nights. If we had a car count over 24, it would be the top 4 out of the 8-lap heat. That would go to the feature. Everyone else do a 10-lap B-main. The features you'll see tonight after our 3-minute warm-up, you've got the Rebels set for 30 laps, the Renegades for 35. Again, Kurt Schatzer, Steven Goldner set to bring us to green. Winner starts on pole position for the 30-lap feature. Glad you could join us here tonight on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Heat 1's underway. And
Goldner right to the top.
And he's on those bumps off of turn number 2. Nearly gets the wall, and he bumps Kurt Schatzer. Gets Superman sideways down the back straight, but he hangs on to it. Goldner could get a run for the race lead. He bumps Schatzer once again. It's off for sideways. Wheelie from the 30. He hooks the 18. And in the wall goes Steven Goldner and barrel rolls. Side over side, end over end. I tell you what, if I was Kurt Schatzer, I would personally not be happy the way I was raced there, Dean.
Well, it was a combination of two things. Kurt was getting awfully loose coming off the corner, where Steve was getting a run because he was running the top, and I just think they met in the middle. I think it was actually just racing, good, hard, clean racing, but as me and Zach were talking, coming off these corners, guys are going to have to watch it.
Absolutely, and right now your race leader is Brad Waite in the 814. Brian Dickens, who started 6th, up to 2nd. Quickest car on the track currently, Zach Chapman.
Yeah, Brad, I ran the C race with him, and he led, I want to say, probably the first 10 or 15 laps in the C race. He was really, really good on this kind of track. Started to fade away as it darkened up completely, but right now, I mean, he's shown it. He's good. He's smooth. Maybe not the fastest guy on the track, but if you hold your line and you're smooth, it's really hard to pass you as you see Dickens go for the lead.
Waite caught the wall. Dickens at a speed of over 130 miles an hour. Wing to wing into turn 1. Dickens throws the slide job on Waite. New leader at the port. Give it to the 122, but Waite tries to counter it back, Dean.
Yeah, and they're using different lanes to see where they're comfortable, and now I notice they both went to the middle and the bottom, and they kind of abandoned the top, and it's going to be interesting. I think this track's going to be really racy tonight.
Let's see what happens. Joe Back is 3rd, Roger Craig in 4th. That's scary off for Kurt Schatzer and Steven Goldner that currently round out the field for right now, but your best battle on track is for the lead. We've got 1 to go in this heat here. Waite looks for something, Zach.
Yeah, he's really trying to make that middle work, but Dickens is making the top work, as we saw Goldner make it work, you know, that first lap before he got into Schatzer. But I was surprised nobody else tried it again, but he went up there, made it work, pulled away, and we have a heat race winner.
Brian Dickens starts on pole tonight. Brad Waite 2nd. Joe Back is 3rd. Roger Craig 4th. Gary Alford 5th. 6th belongs to Kurt Schatzer and Steven Goldner 7th.
That's a game changer. You're kind of looking at Goldner being leading the field down on the pole, and now he's got to go for a hard charger.
Let's go to heat race number 2. It's brought to you by Langdon Mechanical, and here's the starting lineup. On the pole, Greg Parmalee in car number 4. Next to him, it's the return of the driver of the 78. Welcome back, Jack Clevenger. Row number 2, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Next to the mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Row 3, you've got Shaggy Zach Chapman on the outside, Gentleman Jack Hit on the inside. You won't see Jesse Bandy in this heat race because he is a Renegade driver, not allowed to race in the Rebels as the Renegade is the top class. Bandy forgot to hit the watch button.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he hit the wrong one.
So, gentlemen, wish you guys the best of luck in this heat race.
Thank you, sir.
Gonna need it.
So put them on mute so we don't have their mics hot when we are live. Let us know who you're rooting for and what you think of the race. Patrick Spangler calls Port Royal Talladega with a Pennsylvania-sized pothole entering on the top side of 1. And then Joe Canella says, Dean's found a ton of speed this past few months. What's going on there? We'll see what he's got for Heat 2 as we're green. Clevenger with the edge in turn 1. Parmalee just did not have any yaw on corner entry. And he gets part of the wall. Jack Hit goes around. And Parmalee hits the Uke tire. As Clevenger and Reynolds side by side for the lead early. It's Clevenger that leads the opening circuit. Reynolds looks for a run downstairs. 1 and 2. It seems like the low line is the place you want to be. But turns 3 and 4, you want to go high, wide, and handsome. Bixler and Zach Chapman for the 3rd spot. And the mayor takes away P3. So your top 4 currently single file at the moment. Clevenger, Reynolds, Bixler, and Chapman. Here goes Shaggy once again underneath for 3rd. Can't throw the slide job because Dean was to his outside. Beat shot across the line. Chapman in front by 2/10 on Bixler and able to clear, but still Clevenger in heat 2. 4/10 of a second advantage on Dino. Top speed 132 miles an hour into turn number 3. Bixler trying everything he could do to get that bottom groove going, but just not working out for the mayor in car number 75. Dino, though, quickest last time by at a 17:49, better by about a 10.5 on Jack Clevenger. This time by, as we look at the laps, it was Clevenger that was able to counter it back, so we got the break back by 2/10 of a second. As we're coming to 2 laps to go this time in heat race number 2. Winner starts outside of the front row for our 30-lap feature. Up on the banking, nearly hops the cushion. He was the quickest car on track last time by at a 17:46. As your top 4 all nose to tail, the only drivers on the racetrack. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Chapman may look for a run on Reynolds, but I don't think he'll be able to do it. And off at turn 4, it is the driver of the 78, Jack Clevenger, who will start outside pole position. Reynolds second, Chapman third, Bixler fourth, Hit fifth, Parmalee sixth. That is how the field looks in heat race number 2. Now we move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Top Notch Trucking, the official trucking provider of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Devo, Donovan Ross is on pole position. Next to him, it's the driver of the 91 in Kyle Sargent. Row number 2, it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Next to him, it's one of the members of the Moose. That's Jake Musso in the 61. Row number 3, the Laker, John Krupa in car number 5. And next to him, it's Mike Cranmer in car number 70. Gentlemen, your thoughts on how this track is right now at the moment? Whoever wants to take it first.
I was just about to say, I hope they took notes, because I saw Dino there after we got the checkered flag. He hung it wide open there in 1 and 2, and he hooked it up as a practice. There's something right up there against that wall in 1 and 2 if you can do it right. It's real dangerous, but it's really quick right now.
Yeah, you're talking 60 corners, doing it right. That's 30 laps times 2. That ain't in Dino's repertoire. But you're right. I went up there just to see what's up there. It's going to be a fun track. There might be a few yellows here and there, but I think there's a bottom if you're smooth down there. I think there's a middle that you can coast through, and then if you want to watch Goldner come from the back doing the top, it's going to be fun to watch.
We're going to take one additional lap here before we go green. That's the Steve King Foundation Pace Truck pacing the field. One of our great charity partners here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. So winner starts inside of row number 2 for our feature amongst the 6-car field. Nice car count with us this evening. I believe the final car count was 20, if not 19 drivers that will take the green flag for our feature. Ross and Sargent set to bring us to the green flag. Nice start for Ross. Templeton had to get on the binders or else he was taking out Devo. Sargent with a nice exit off turn number 2, and the 91 goes to the lead. Jake Musso around the top shelf. 3 wide, and Templeton clips the Jersey barrier, but he hangs onto it. Back to 4th he goes. Sargent leads lap 1, and Dean up to 2nd. It's the Moose.
Yeah, it's Sargent, there isn't a cushion that Sargent doesn't like, so you know he's going to go right up there. But Musso is one of the most improved sprint car guys. He's really, from last year to this year, he's done some, must have done some practicing or got onto some good setups that he likes. He's really fast now.
Sargent up in the wall. Close call for him, but hey, Zach, Jake Musso, a 10th better than Kyle Sargent, quickest car on the track at the moment.
Yeah, like I say, he ended up winning that C race, and him and I were bumper to bumper those last 15 laps. He was real fast, real smooth, and I just think he just had 25 laps on a track real similar. So this is, he was practicing for this. He's ready to go get him.
On board Templeton, he's trying to get the run for 3rd position. Got up to 128 miles an hour. There's the good old slider off turn 4. Templeton has it at the line, way too close by about 500. Devo tries to counter it back. They touch briefly, Dean.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of competition. It's a good field. I've been saying that this is probably the strongest Rebels field, I think, in many seasons, because you got a lot of former Renegades guys that are down in Rebels because they couldn't do enough races to stay in Renegades. That's not good for this old guy, but it's fun to race with him.
Kyle Sargent, the quickest driver on the track, 17.31 his last lap. He's gone from Jake Musso. 1.1 second lead and growing. But he nearly clips the wall there. But however, though, that was the sweet spot. You can get as close to the wall as possible and gain a lot of speed here, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it in the pre-race. You know, there are guys, Anthony Macri's famous for that here, real-life sprint car driver. He'll go up there and he'll kiss the wall in the middle of 3 and 4 especially. You can't do it hard, obviously. You're going to break your stuff, but you do it just right. It'll help set your car for a straight exit, and you get a little bit of speed off of it.
Coming off of turn number 4, Kyle Sargent takes heat race number 3. Jake Musso second. Brandon Templeton third. Donovan Ross fourth. John Krupa fifth. Mike Cranmer in sixth. So heat races are in the books for our Rebels competition. It's the Oswego Speedway warm-up watch, and while we are warming up, just a reminder as well, World Finals begin tomorrow. The Flatline Racing Bodies World Finals, brought to you by the Dirt Alliance, Coast to Coast Racing League, and Friday Night Lights. And all proceeds benefit Team RWB. If you're wondering what RWB is, here's a look.
There's an immeasurable bond that forms when you join the service. You'll do anything to protect and defend those at your side, and pushing the limits of your well-being is all just part of the job. But when this shared experience ends, it's easy to carry that mission-first mindset with you and neglect your own health and mental fitness. Team Red, White, and Blue understands these challenges and knows that together we can show veterans that their best days are ahead by providing opportunities to build healthier lifestyles right where they live and work. Through races, service projects, workouts, and a cutting-edge mobile app, our members develop a sense of camaraderie and mutual support. With a growing force of over 200,000 strong, we invite all veterans, families, and non-military supporters to start putting their well-being first. Team Red, White, and Blue is forging America's leading health and wellness community. Will you join the team?
Yes, World Finals begin tomorrow. The first night of qualifiers tomorrow. Wednesday night is non-qualifier number 2. Thursday night is non-qualifier night. And then Sunday night, the last chance for the big dance, all leading into Monday night's World Finals. You are not going to want to miss it one bit. It'll be right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Next Monday, Monday Night Madness will be off for championship night. Look at that sunset, Dean. How about that sunset at Port Royal?
I had a good look at it when I climbed the right rear tire of Goldner.
That is a beautiful sunset we've got.
Steve's
over
on a
Port
mission.
Royal.
He threw a slider on me in the practice. So, Steve, look out for Steve.
So, but 3 classes, 360 sprints, pro late models, and
Yes.
358 modifieds. You're not going to want to miss it. 10,000 cents to win. And in case you're wondering what that is in dollars, that is $100. But over a $500 purse. You're not going to want to miss this one bit on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And again, that is all at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stephen Goldner says he is trying out the back to the front challenge tonight after the Heat 1 accident he had. So we will see how he performs. But folks, I guess it is now time for our first feature of the night. Let's meet the field of 19 ready to take the green. Here's your catalytic recovery starting lineup. On the pole, Brian Dickens, the number 122. Next to him, it's Jack Clevenger in the 78. Row number 2, it's Kyle Sargent in the 91 and Brad Waite in the 814. Row number 3, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Next to the Moose, Jake Musso in the 61. Row 4, Joe Backus in the 46, and next to him, it's Shaggy, Zach Chapman in the 72. Rounded out the top 10, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Next to the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747. Row 6, it's the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75, and Devo, Donovan Ross in the 02. Row 7, Gary Uffa in the number 94, and Gentleman Jacket in the 217. Row number 8, the Laker, John Krupa, he's in the number 5, and Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Rounding out the field, Greg Parmalee in the 4, Mike Cranmer in the 70, and Steven Goldner in car number 30. Well, before I turn your mics off, guys, it's time for picks. Who do you think wins tonight?
Man, that's a good question. Brandon Templeton was really fast in the warm-ups. Not sure where he's starting, but, I mean, he was a half second faster than most of us, so got to look for that guy to come to the front.
Dean? I think he's already on mute, so. All right, well, Zach, best of luck.
Thank you, sir. You'll call this just great.
My pick to win, I am going to go with the man that's starting on the pole, Brian Dickens, to lead all 30 laps. Well, for having some frame drop, apologies for that. Just noticed that, but let's know who your pick is to win in the chat. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck is in. Ready to go for the Lucy Olson start. We've got a good one tonight here at the port. First feature of the evening. You've got Brian Dickens and Jack Clevenger on the front row. Glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let's ride them off with the bugle. First time through turn number 3 and 4. It's Dickens out with the early lead. Clevenger second, side by side for third. Jake Musso and Kyle Sargent. Musso now looks underneath on the number 78. Clevenger just about catches that pothole in turn 1. Up the track he goes. A lot of drivers sideways in turn number 2. Everybody hanging on to it for right now. You've got Kyle Sargent all the way down the baby bottom for third. Up the wall goes Clevenger. He hangs on to it, but Brian Dickens is checked out to just about a 1 second lead. Everyone on the high side hanging on for dear life, but they're getting a really nice push when they enter the back straight. Sargent takes it 3 wide with Brad Waite in the middle. Here comes Chapman up on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Up to 5th he goes. Quickest car on the track, though, is the 31 behind Zach Chapman, and that's Brandon Templeton. You ride on board with him. His top speed in the corner, 134 miles an hour, and he has made his way up to the 5th position. Let's check his speed into turn 1. 133 once again. Some tight racing. Musso slides up on Clevenger, and he puts the 78 in the wall. Everybody hanging on for dear life. Zach Chapman up to 3rd. Musso up the wall. He's over the wall. He keeps it straight, though. We stay green. Caution. Nope. Kurt Schatzer is crashed. Now we go to caution. But Superman, the 218, not been a pretty start to the day after he was on pole. Had the highest pill draw of everybody. Take a look at what happened. Catch the wall. Oh, he just lost it all by himself in front of Donovan Ross. That was a very odd moment. Why don't we run on board with him? You see Devo all caught up in that too. So Schatzer has called it a night early. He'll finish in the 19th position. Jason Butterfield rooting for Dean. Joe Canales rooting for the Salty Dogs and is putting the pressure on Zach. That's his pick to win tonight. And Jeff Kemper also rooting for Zach. Noticing Brian Dickens all the way on the baby bottom, and same with Jake Musso. Not only is that a situation where he can try and pick up some grip and some cold mud, but also maybe in a fuel situation. So they're trying to run the lowest part of the track as much as they can. So we saw Clevenger catch that wall in turn number 2. Didn't lose too much ground. He's down to 3rd. But we did see Jake Musso go over the wall in turn 4. And I don't see any damage to that 61, but he is now down in the 8th position. So field is doubled up. Time for our first Mission 22 restart. Let's reset the field here. By the way, biggest mover currently, Brandon Templeton outside the front row. He started in 9th. So Dickens and Templeton, row 1. Zach Chapman, Jack Clevenger, row 2. Brad Waite, Kyle Sargent, row 3. Jake Musso and Roger Craig, row 4. Joe Backus and Dean Reynolds round out the top 10. We're going to watch this restart from the Chapman Racing drone as we come back to green. Dickens holds serve on this restart. Tries the slide job up on Templeton, but he gives Templeton the lane and goes through to the lead. Great restart for the driver of the 31. Chapman now low for the 2nd position. He tries to slide up, but it's Dickens up on the wall. He keeps her straight. Sargent thought about 3 wide. Chapman shut the door on him right in his face, and Shaggy moves up into the 2 spot. He got to run once again down low. Chapman on nearly in the wall. Dickens gives him the lane for right now. What a race for 2nd this is. Dickens slides up. Chapman tries to crisscross. Back into 2nd he goes. Here comes Kyle Sargent for the podium spot. Thought about going 2 for 1 there as well. He can't get it though. Jake Musso has recovered well in that number 61 up to the 6th position. So he's picked up, I believe it's 2 spots since he went over the turn 4 wall. Meanwhile, Templeton, my goodness, that was just about a half straightaway lead. 2.1 seconds, a 17.47 last time by. We try to watch some good racing here. Clevenger, Waite, Jake Musso. Final spot in the top 5. And they nearly went 3 wide across the line. Jake Musso rides the wall, slows his speed up just a little bit. He's hanging on for dear life. And Clevenger able to clear the 8:14, but he's up on the wall as well. Here's what it looks like from the rear end of Clevenger. As he watches Waite and, well, he's not actually watching it, but we're watching Waite and Musso. We're wing to wing. Stephen Goldner mentioned he was on that back to front challenge. He is up to 7th. He's up 12 spots, and that may have just ended there. Hard to the wall, Jake Musso upside down. Goldner keeps it straight. Yellow lights are on. So that eliminates the 2.7 second lead that Templeton had. Now let's go to a replay. You saw it live. Musso was up high on corner X, and either he didn't expect, I think one came down, the other came up. I don't know, but that is heavy damage on the number 61. Ryan on board here. Yeah, he held his line on corner exit, so let me take a look at Stevens on board here. Looks like he briefly came up. How he didn't get any damage from that, I don't know. But that is definitely, we know definitely 2x on the driver of the number 30, who is now your biggest mover from 19th to 7th. So a nice long run there we had. Unfortunately ends with a 61 on its lid And a rough feature for him from the turn 4 feature now in the pits. Hopefully, I would assume that he towed the car to get into the pits, but hopefully he is able to make his way back out on the racetrack with a quick repair. So obviously he had to use a tow. However, though, a long track at Port Royal means longer time during caution periods. There is, but under power, the 61. He'll merge back with the field on the lead lap, we assume. So coming back to the green flag, Templeton and Zach Chapman, row 1. Brian Dickens, Kyle Sargent, row 2. Jack Clevenger, Brad Waite, row 3. Stephen Goldner and Jack Hitt, row 4. Roger Craig, Donovan Ross round out the top 10. 14 laps on the board, 16 laps remaining when we come back to the green flag. Nice restart from the 31. Zach Chapman up on the wall. You saw the sparks fly. He may have some steering damage possibly. 3 wide down the back. Stephen Goldner looks to get past Jack Clevenger for the 4th position. Sargent has to get on the binders. Nearly hooks Jack Clevenger. 3 wide once again off for 4. At the line, I think it was Sargent that had 4th, but Goldner could clear off the corner. He has found something, whether it be low, whether it be high. But everything working out well for the driver of the 30. And he gets past Sargent. Up into the 4th spot he goes. Meanwhile, for Templeton, a 1-second advantage on Brian Dickens. When we thought nobody had anything for B-Temp, Stephen Goldner is climbing his way up through the field. But Sargent tries to crisscross him. Not what the driver of the 30 wants. Up to 134 miles an hour in the corner. Highest top speed so far is B-Temp at 135. And we love to talk about this place and the Speed Palace. Dean Reynolds races Donovan Ross for the 9th position. And Ross was nearly able to shut the door on him, but he gives him the lane. And look at Jake Musso trying to recover after flipping in the last caution. He's cracked his way back up in the top 10. And now we've got a race for 2nd, breaking out Chapman and Dickens. There's the slide job by Shaggy. Let's see if Dickens can counter it back. Oh, we got a big wreck. Devo and Backus in turn 2. And it seemed like it was just a 3-car wreck if you include Greg Parmalee. Let's take a look at a replay. The replays all night brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Writing. Oh! Hooked on the back of the 78. How Clevenger didn't have any damage, I don't know. And Backus with a heavy hit. And Parmalee with a nice save and all of that. Gonna have a couple onboards here. Let's ride on board first with Devo. Let's pop up the front end. Get a better angle of this wheelie. That's not really a wheelie because he had 3 wheels on the ground. How about Joe Backus? Ooh, that's a hard hit for Backus. So Devo able to come back out onto the racetrack. So we'll have a 10-lap shootout when we come back to the green flag. A reminder too, coming up next, we will have our Renegades part of the event, so you don't want to miss out on that. That should begin around 8:45 p.m. on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Final double file restart of the race coming up afterwards. Every restart is single file. Templeton and Dickens, row 1. Chapman, Sargent, row 2. Goldner and Waite, row 3. Hitt, Clevenger, row 4. Musso and Reynolds round out the top 10 as we come back to the green flag. Nice restart from Templeton. He's checked out of the hotel. Now we watch Chapman and Dickens go at it once again for second. And Goldner makes it a three-man battle for the 2 spot. Here we go. This could get interesting. Up the track, Dickens. Up in the wall goes Dickens. Everybody 3 wide for second. And through goes Goldner to P2. Brandon Templeton, you could have some company. Top 3 all single file. Sargent rides the wall. He hangs onto it for dear life. But Goldner is all over the back of the 31 for the lead with 8 to go. I don't know if he realizes that Steven is right on his tail. Meanwhile, a smorgasbord into turn 3. Dickens shuts the door on Sargent. Oh! Who was that? That was gone. Jack Hitt just left the ballpark. Caution is out, though. Steven Bixler. We're hearing John Krupa as well may have been involved in it. A lot of things to watch here. First off, let's watch Jack Hitt. Just climbed the wall when he was gone. Just scared him. And I think this may have freaked out Bixler and Hitt. Let's take a look. Ooh, Krupa got on the back of the mayor. Oh, man, the Oswego grad may not be allowed into Clarence, Iowa anytime soon. Let's ride on board here. Just stuck riding that wall. You can't even see that wall. Gotta make that painted, gotta paint that white. So, when Templeton thought he had this one, oh baby, Steven Goldner wants to party. He's looking for win 3, would break the tie with Isaac Salas for most wins in the Rebels this season. Brandon Templeton wants to tie it as he looks for win 2 on the year. Took the win in the season opener at Lernerville, so he has a knack for long tracks and fast tracks. Can he take down the Goliath and Steven Goldner? Should be a single file restart coming up, which it will be, as we have under 10 laps to go. Templeton and Goldner, row number 1. Krupa, Templeton, Goldner first and second. Dickens third. Chapman fourth. Sargent fifth. Waite 6th. Musso 7th. Reynolds 8th. Clevenger 9th. And Craig rounds out the top 10. Did Steven try a slide job in turn number 1? That's what I'm interested in seeing. Let's see what happens. Templeton gets half a lap over Freebie because he's the one able to time the restarts. He doesn't have Goldner next to him. But Goldner's been smooth wherever he decides to go. Got some nice bite through 1 and 2. Oh, Templeton hits the wall. Could help out Goldner. 6 laps to go. Gap is 0.3 of a second. Templeton again in the wall. Just continues to bounce off, but he gained a 10th on Steven Goldner. Is it time for the 30 to go to the high side? I think it is, as Dickens and Chapman race for the 3rd position. Goldner scrapes the wall once again. Can't be doing that, and gives Dickens an opportunity to take P2 with 5 laps remaining. And it's a 3-car race for second. Dickens and Chapman both try to diamond the corner. It doesn't work. 4 laps to go. Dickens nearly hits the 30. How about as well that 61 of Jake Musso? Looks for 6th on Breadway. Caution is out as Steve Bixler has crashed. And that gives Steven Goldner another opportunity. And I believe will be a 3-lap shootout. And that most certainly will end the night for the mayor. Oh, Cranmer puts him in the wall, and the 70 just did a 360. And Bixter was stopped, and with the leaders approaching, no choice but to throw the caution flag out. Mike realized that Bixter was coming on his outside. Luckily, even with that wheel-to-wheel contact, luckily nobody flipped in that situation. You see Templeton and Dickens, both teammates out of the Dirt Track Bank Got Your Six Racing Network side of things. As I would assume that they most likely are trying to either get some grip or save some fuel. In the words of my good friend Shane Andrews, the former voice of the Super Dirt Car Series, who's it going to be? How's it going to be done? This is going to be an interesting one to the end. I wish we could double them up. The leaders want to double them up, but I think Templeton just wants to get set for his line for this restart. So it will be, I believe, actually a 4-lap shootout. We'll wait to see what it says in the lap counter when we come back to the green. It's a 3-lap shootout. Dickens low for second. Gollner knows his mistake after last time. Got to keep it on the top. But if he wants to throw a slide job, he could do it right here for the lead. Stephen Gollner looks for the point. Templeton counters it back. 2 laps to go. Beats up with another slider on the number 30, and he takes it back. Gollner tries to dive in the corner, doesn't work. Sideways is Kyle Sargent. We're going to overtime. Oh, baby, oh, baby. I think Steven just got himself another gift. Something is wrong on the number 91. Ooh, he just hit a bump in turn 1, and it just trying everything to save it. Roger Craig. Woo! Man, oh man. What a miss that was. Right on board with Kyle. Yep, hit one of those bumps in turn 1, just freaked the car out. And trying everything to save it. He may have clipped Roger, I don't know. Well, we know this. The slide job for Stephen Gollner worked. Templeton just able to counter it pretty well. Right, as I was saying, I'm sorry about that. We know the slider line works for Gollner. He just has to make sure he just keeps right on the high side if he's not going to pass anyone. All right, first of 2 attempts at overtime. The yellow flag flies before we get the white flag. We'll have one more restart, one final restart. If we get the white, we're going to the checkers. Templeton, the control car, to fire for this restart. Goldner trying to time it right. Here we go. 2-lap shootout. And Steven, oh, did he get turned? No, he did not. I thought for a moment he went around off of Dickens. He hangs on to it. A great restart from Templeton, and he's able to pull away by a couple tenths. Off for turn 4, white flag, 1 lap to go at Port Royal. Goldner looking for a Hail Mary in turns 1 and 2. Decides to ride the bottom. Templeton hangs on. They're still side by side down the back. Stephen Goldner trying the last to first challenge off for 4. Can he take the win? Templeton! Oh, baby! Brandon Templeton! Just when we thought it was over! Wow! Port Royal, you do not disappoint one bit. The margin 0.05 of a second. May have actually converted to 0.04 of a second. We'll check the results in just a moment. I thought Steven had it. But just that one final shot. Man, oh man. As your top 3 pose for the podium. We need to go to a replay here. We need to show you. We've got a photo finish cam set up. And let's show you how this worked out. All right, let's go to real time first off. Goldner slide job. I thought this won him the race. I thought this completely won him the race. When the XD got up top, he must have spun the wheels just a little bit. But as they come down to the line, oh, wow. Man. Here's what we're going to do as well. We are going to... Here's another look at it right there. Stephen Goldner has got to be thinking, and we'll talk with him in just a moment about this. I think we know what he's thinking inside that race car. But here's a look at the results. Templeton the winner, Goldner second, Dickens third, Chapman fourth, Jake Musso fifth, Brad Waite sixth, Donovan Ross seventh, Roger Craig eighth, Jack Clevenger ninth, and Joe Backus is 10th. All right, let's talk to your top 3, and we'll begin with the driver of the 122 and Brian Dickens. Brian, how fun was that race tonight?
It's pretty wild. I just couldn't get things to go my way at all.
Walk us through it, though, as a whole tonight.
At the beginning, just trying to kind of save my tires at the beginning, just trying to take it easy, and they won't have none of that. So I could never get back where I needed to be, at least in second, to keep from somebody throwing a slider on me or whatever. But yeah, it was a great race, and I mean it was very slick and very bumpy up top, so every move had to be very calculating.
Were you trying out as well at some points what Templeton was trying out?
As far as what?
As far as, maybe whether it be driving the line or maybe even trying to set up?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to, keep it up on that top and keep some momentum going, and every once in a while I'd duck to the bottom to see if it picked up any speed, on the bottom. But maybe a little bit in 3 and 4 had it picked up any speed, but it's just so treacherous up on the top, man. It's just, to do it lap after lap, I mean, it's tough.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
I got to give Hammer Down Racing, of course, Brandon, Kurt, and Joe. Dirt Track Bank, GY6RN Racing Network, M9 Performance. I want to give a big shout-out to Ty Showblock for everything that he helps me with and our team. You, Marty, is doing a great job, and C2C for everything they do, and, of course, Brandon on the win.
All righty, well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight.
Thanks.
Let's go to our second place finisher, and Steven Gollner. Steven, I gotta ask, what's going through your head right now after that slide job, which I thought as well worked? I thought you had it off at turn number 4, and then Templeton edged you.
Yeah, I'm sure if I would have came off the top at a 4 and kind of ran down into the middle of the track, I would have been fine. But I decided to be nice tonight and give Templeton a line, and he definitely used it.
You went for that back to front challenge. How was this race car?
It was good, really good. I could run the bottom, top, not really the middle, but I seem to a lot with this build. I don't know if I drive into hard or what, but it breaks loose all the time on entry. I'm still trying to figure that out, but no, the car was really good. Setup was real good tonight. Tires, it was tough to keep heating the tires with all the cautions, so hopefully the Renegades with a little bit less cautions, we can keep the heat in the tires and keep the car rolling.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the guys at Bandy Built for everything they do. I've been, missing the last season or so, and they've been stepping up and getting these setups really good for us. Wegman Brothers, Bottle.com, Velocity Race Designs, Dirt Doctor Trucking, Moon and Racing Engines, you guys for the broadcast, and Roger and everyone with C2C.
Great job tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Now we go to Victory Lane to talk with your winner. You just saw it. Oops, sorry, Brian.
No worries.
All right. Now I think we're good. Let's talk with your winner, Brandon Templeton. Wow. What a finish. How's that one feel?
That feels pretty good, Marty. I mean, I think that's probably one of the funnest, most satisfying end of the race. Pulling it off type of deals I've ever been involved with. So hats off to Steven. That was one hell of a race. He really had my number there, towards the end, and I was lucky that the end was as close as it was.
Walk us through turns 3 and 4. Obviously, he had a run first off in the low set off at 2. I don't think we expected that. He pulled side by side, and then he threw the slide job. Just walk us through your plans after that.
Well, my car was really just driving itself. If I kept it half throttle around the high side and got it on entry at the right angle, it would just go right around and I didn't have to adjust or anything. I would just hold on and, got to thank M9 Performance and Ty Show Block for making that setup absolutely freaking amazing. I mean, it was so fast compared to everybody else. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, it was just, a little bit tough there, 3 and 4. When he threw that slider, I hung on and I just kind of pulled it down and was looking for that traction on the straightaway, thinking that was probably my only hope was to try to drag racing.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank M9 Performance, like I said, Ty Show Block, the setup. I definitely wouldn't be here, not even close, without that setup. I owe a ton to them. I can't drive a sprint car near as good as that result looked. So that was a lot of them and a little bit of me, but Got Your Six Racing Network, Dirt Track Bank, Jay, everything they're doing, Hammer Down Racing Team, Joe Kurt and Brian, we do a lot of talking and helping out. Brian helps, work on the setups and has connections there, so that's cool. Extreme Images, Melee's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, you for doing the stream, Kevin for admin, and everybody helping out in the back end of the league, and everyone watching at home. Thank you.
That was a heck of a finish. Enjoy this one. Congrats. Best of luck in the Renegades.
Thanks.
Brandon Templeton, your winner. We're going to step aside. I need to catch my breath after that one. When we come back, it's Renegades time. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are getting set for Renegades action, brought to you by our friends at Westbrook Racing. Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network, everybody. Mark Calla with you, and oh my goodness. What a race for the Rebels. I am still speechless after that Rebels event, and now we get set for the Renegades, where we have a full car count, 24 drivers with us. Zach, are you still speechless after what we saw with the Rebels?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that finish. It really looked from my angle there where I finished in fourth. It looked like Goldner was going to get him, but like he said, he was a real gentleman there. He coming out of four, he could have put that left rear tire on the tack there and really pinched him and maybe picked up the win, but he did the smart thing, kept the incident point down, and he's just looking to get back in that A Series next season.
Absolutely. Great respect out of the driver, the number 30. That was like Christopher Bell not spinning out Kyle Larson, racing him clean, like what we saw on Sunday, but just this point, they were side by side. So, we've got a full field of Renegades with us, and the final car count will be 24. And I guess with that being said, we are set to go racing here at Port Royal. So, excuse me there. Let's go to heat race number 1, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. And here's a look at your starting lineup. On the pole, it's Steven Goldner in car number 30. Next to him, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer, in car number 83. Row number 2, it's the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. And the Bandy Boat Master, Jesse Bandy, in car number 49. Row 3, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Next to him, it's the 24, the Money King, Kyle Moonen. Rounding out the field, it's the return of 100 Grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518, and the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, in car number 07. Alrighty, Zach, how are we feeling coming on into this one with a full field of 24 and a lot of talented drivers?
Yeah, when you say a lot of talent, you're not kidding. I mean, the talent in the B Series, like Dean was saying, is just phenomenal this year. And then you pluck 5 of those guys and bring them up here with these guys. It's nuts. I'm really anxious to see what Templeton can do here. It's obviously totally 2 different tracks, and he's got to start on the bottom here. But that impressive drive he had in that B race, you know, he's got to be one of the favorites here. So we'll have to see what he can do.
Give it to us, Brandon. Give it to us. He's trying to do that wheelie for us. Watch him do it right at the start.
Hopefully not for his sake.
Absolutely. All right. 8 laps. Winner starts on pole position for our 35-lap feature. Yes, Renegades are 35 laps instead of the 30 for Rebels. Good jump from Goldner in turn 1 and 2. Jesse Bandy nearly clips the wall. Dittmer nearly clips the wall, but it's Goldner out in front. Followed by Dittmer. Cote and Bandy side by side. Bandy up the wall. Oh, he hits his teammate Moonen. Oh, that's a heavy rock. Preston Cranmer head on. Somehow he keeps the car going without a messed up. He's got a messed up right front. Never mind. Oh, and Moonen careens in there. And Cote's in the wall, 3 wide. Grady caught up with Cote. And around goes the 518 who saves it. Cote loses the front wing, but he keeps on going. Templeton up in the wall. Dittmer wants the second spot. What the heck is happening here, Zach Chapman? Templeton on the wall again.
Looks like a demo derby out here. It's almost to the point where you just want to tell yourself, calm down, and you know, everyone's going to make it to the feature. If you're still driving right now, you're going to start in a good feature spot. So just settle yourself down and bring this thing home.
Steven Goldner, yes, you are being Brandon Templeton right now, but just saying this does not count as part of the rematch in round 2. But he's got some quick laps, though. 16:31 to Templeton, 16:34. Three laps to go in our opening heat race. Dittmer tries to Chastain it through 1 and 2. That's what we call the hail monkey.
Yeah, he's really throwing it out there. Totally disregarding what I said. Looks like he's got second lockdown, but he doesn't care. He's going to still try to reel him in.
He has gotten the memo, and he's just going to keep Chastaining it. Hey, if it works out and doesn't severely damage your car, it works out.
He kicked my butt last race, so yeah, I need to take advice from him, not the way I'm doing it.
Here comes Steven Goldner through 3 and 4. Quickest car on track, a 15:99 last lap. That helps him out. He wins heat race number 1. Templeton second. Dittmer finishes in the 3rd spot. Grandy comes across the line in 4th. And we wait for Chad Cote without the front wing. He's coming to the checkered flag now to finish in 5th. Even with 24 drivers as the car count, everyone makes the feature. So now we move to heat race number 2, brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Here's the starting lineup. The Moose, Joe Musso on the pole, and next to him, it's the salesman Blake Chapman in car number 20. Row number 2, a pair of Canadians, Barry Goldner in the 36. Next to him, the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. Row 3 on the inside, Cody Graham in the 2. Next to him, he last won at Port Royal, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Rounding out the field, the Professor John Hine back with us in the 71. And next to him, the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513.
Yeah, and you know, Marty, I know you were away with Super Dirt Week last Monday, but I did do the broadcast with Brett, and I did pick Terry for the surprise podium last week, and I don't know if you saw that. He did get third last week. Desert Team was on the podium last week.
Gonna try and get 2 spots better here with the win. We'll see what happens. Let us know who you're rooting for in chat, who you think's gonna win the Renegades race. Had a lot of big reaction coming out of the Rebels. John Short, what a race. Nice win, BT. Joe Canellis beat that Renegades. So we come to green for Heat 2. Winner starts outside on the front row. Nice jump from Musso. Blake Chapman stuck in second. He tries to counter back and look low on the 63. Decides to tuck it back inside, and then he goes up top. Barry Goldner with an opening for the second position. Goldner gets sideways. He's still in third. Lap 1, though, led by the Moose here, Zach.
Yeah, you know, he's the first person to do it a little different. He's kind of running that high middle line, and he is pulling away from Blake just a little bit. Maybe Blake's just waiting to get wound up here, but he's doing it different.
Right on board with him, gets to the top speed in the corner here and entering turn 3. As he's on the high side, nearly clips the wall. You're hanging on for dear life with the sprint cars here at Port Royal. 138 into turn number 3. We have not seen anyone hit 140 yet. I think he's come the closest. Here he goes for the lead.
Yeah, you saw he had that big speed, and he tried to throw the slider, but he wasn't close enough yet. He's going to have to try to maybe recuperate here, try to catch him and go for it on the last lap here.
Halfway home, though, a lot of time to work in Heat 1. Barry Goldner third, Gary Taylor fourth, Cody Graham fifth, and it's Terry Landis, John Hine, and Jeff Barker. Everyone liking the top here of the racetrack, but guys like Gary Taylor, Barry Goldner, they decide, you know what? Bottom groove is better for us retread drivers. We feel a lot more comfortable on the bottom than up on the top. Cody Graham wants to take that risk on the top shelf. Chapman, though, the quickest driver again. He closed in by 700ths on Joe Musso. He's got that draft into turn number 1. Does 138 in the corner. I was better by 2 tenths. Looked low. Musso shut the door on him, Zach.
Yeah, he's taking Joe's line there. I said how Joe's doing it a little different. Blake's way faster in 3 and 4 up along that wall, but in 1 and 2, he's been following and running that high middle groove. Right as I say that, he goes back up against the wall. We'll have to see what he can do.
Oh boy, are we going to see something like we saw in the Rebels feature? Let's see what happens through turns 3 and 4. Musso decides to run the middle line. Chapman, one final run out for turn 4. He bumps the 63 at the line. Musso hangs on by 1400ths of a second.
Yeah, you want to talk about gentlemen. We were talking about Golden there last race. I think Blake realized, didn't mean to tap him there, and you could see him lift out of that. That's not – Blake's a better driver than that, and you see why. He's class, man.
All right, we go to Heat 3, brought to you by Top Notch Trucking. Zach, you're on the pole for this one, so you look like you're going to have a lot of fun in this.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. My teammate's right beside me, so the goal is to not wreck Jeffrey.
Jeff Kemper outside of row number 1. Row 2, Bob DeGood in the 7, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. Row number 3, Kevin Fry in the 21, and the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Rounding out the field, he brought out the white scheme this time. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. I remember, Zach, the white scheme that he had when after Isaac Dean and I met up at Super Dirt Week, he put that on the inside of his left panel.
Yeah, that's a legendary paint scheme. One that if we had a C2C Paint Hall of Fame, it would be in there.
Yes, it would. Alrighty, best of luck in this one.
Thank you, sir.
So winner starts inside of row number 2. Chapman and Kemper ready to bring us to the green flag. Nice jump from Chapman, immediately clears Kemper. 3 wide for the 4th position. Tyler Wilson goes the longer way around and up into the spot he goes for now. Kemper up on the wall. Atkinson down low for the race lead. Can he get it off the corner? He can't. Chapman hanging on for dear life. Chapman clears. Bad exit for the Pink Panther. Kemper up on the draft of the 127. Here comes a Wilson all the way in the basement. Luke Green. Oh, hang on, Kevin. Oh my goodness. He was that sideways. What a save by the Flying Fry. Wow. Atkinson, Kemper, Wilson all for the 2 spot. And Kemper back up into that runner-up position. Atkinson decides not to throw the slide job. Helps out Wilson get the draft up into the 3rd position. We did see someone top 140, Patrick Spangler, 141 miles an hour. Oh, look out! Heavy crash! Oh my goodness me, Tyler Wilson. That is a Macho Man type ride. Jeff Kemper also involved. Bob D. Good. Kevin Fry. We got a replay for this one, folks. Holy cow, that was wicked. Spangler did 142 a couple of moments ago. We should. Let's go to it. Nope. We don't want that. Let's go back live. We're going to go back live. We'll get you the replay in just a moment. Again, Spangler closing in 2/10. Does he look inside here? Yes, he does. Here comes the high side bagger with a mega slide job. Keeps it inside, does not go up the hill. Chapman may have something with 1 to go. It's slide job city here at the Speed Palace. Shaggy, too much of a slider. Spangler to the lead, and that should help him out win heat race number 3. Up the track he goes. Chapman may have something too late. Spangler wins. Chapman 2nd, Atkinson 3rd, and everybody else wrecked. And we'll wait till this goes to the warm-up, and we can take a look at what happened. Well, he's still on pit road. Just exit the cars, dang it. Oh, Kevin's going to finish this race. Nope, never mind. He's too late. Okay, speaking of Fry, let's look at that. Let's see here. I think Kemper got sideways in front of Wilson, and man. Oh my goodness, all hell just decided to break loose. Dang, oh dang. Alrighty. Oshweekend Speedway warm-up watch time. Another reminder, Road Finals begin tomorrow in honor of Team Red, White, and Blue. Here's a little bit more info about them.
Welcome to Team Red, White, and Blue. Thank you so much for joining our team. My name is Mike Irwin, and I have the honor to serve as the Executive Director. When I founded Team RWB in 2010, our initial focus centered on veteran transition and reintegration into civilian life. But as the large-scale deployments have slowed down, the military's ability to support reintegration has improved, hundreds of thousands of veterans have used their GI Bill, and companies have prioritized hiring veterans, the overall mental, physical, and emotional health of the veteran community still has a long way to go. And Team RWB has a major leadership role to play. And that means that we need you. We need you to close out this video and to know that you didn't just join a listserv or download an app. You joined a team composed of real people, over 200,000 strong, who are veterans on active duty in the National Guard or reserves or civilian supporters. And these people, who we refer to as Eagles, want you to get involved in Team RWB. Why is it so important for you to become an active member of the team? Because when you do, we know that it will improve your mental and physical health, help you to develop new and meaningful relationships in your life, and provide you with a sense of purpose that comes from belonging to something bigger than yourself. Over the past decade, veterans struggling with the invisible wounds of war and post-military life have told us how important physical fitness has been to them. Running has helped veterans battle nightmares. Triathlons have helped with headaches, and CrossFit has enabled them to sleep better. These fitness activities, along with others, have made them more confident and healthy people. Unfortunately, millions of veterans have forgotten about the power of physical training in their lives. So as you get involved and see the power of Team RWB in your own life, I hope that you feel inspired to reach out to other veterans and encourage them to follow in your footsteps. In closing, I want to again thank you for stepping forward and joining Team Red, White, and Blue. We're fired up to have you on the team, and I know that you're going to be flying the Eagle with pride for a long time.
Checkered flag on warm-ups. Joseph Grandy is the quickest driver here. So we are set to go racing 35 laps around the port on behalf of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your Monday night with us. Let's meet the field of 23. Here is the Catalytic Recovery starting lineup. On the pole, Stephen Goldner in car number 30, and next to him it's the Moose, Joe Musso, in the 63. Row number 2, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39, and Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row 3, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20, and Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72. No, not related. Row number 4, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83, and next to him it's Barry Goldner in car number 36. Rounding out the top 10, the Pink Panther, Jesse X in the 127. Next to 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row 6, Cody Graham in the 2. Next to Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Row 7, the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. And the Captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. Row 8, Jeff Kemper in the 181. And the Outlaw, Preston Cranmer in the 07. Rounding out the field, it's the Professor, John Hine in the 71. Bob D. Good in the 7 is next to him. Rounding out the top 20, it's the Money King, Kyle Moon in the 24. Next to 161 of Terry Landis. Row 11, Kevin Fry, the Flying Fry in the 21. Jesse Bandy is in the 49. Rounding out the field, the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. One lap to the green flag. I forgot to unmute you before we went to break, Zach. Who's your pick to win?
Man, the performance he put on at the end of that race, the track's going to be similar, if not a little worse, with going 35 laps. Hard to pick against Goldner starting in first place. I think Steven's the man tonight.
I like the pick, but there's a guy behind him that won this race last season. Give me the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. So, all right, best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
So let's know your pick to win in the chat. Stephen Goldner, Joe Musso, 35 laps around Port Royal Speedway. There's always a favorite, pick it ASAP. As they make their way through 3 and 4, where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast at the Port Royal Speedway? We had a photo finish of the Rebels. Will we see it of the Renegades? We're about to find out. 35 sports circuits around the Speed Palace. It's showtime. Start brought to you by Lucy Olson. Stephen Goldner gets out front with the lead. Spangler low for P2 on the Moose. Can he get it? He cannot. Actually loses third to Brandon Templeton. Zach Chapman in 5th. Blake's in 6th. Because of run by Templeton up on the top shelf. Tries to get some banking going. Oh, and Dittmer sideways. Off of turn 2, he hangs onto it in the 7th position. Templeton around the outside once more. He takes away the 2nd position. Look how fast the drivers are going into turn number 1. Templeton, quickest driver last time by 17.13 as you're on board with them. Hits 135 in the corner. And the wall he goes, though. He keeps her straight. And the race is on for the lead as Templeton slipstreams the 30 of Goldner. Templeton cut down 2/10 the last time by. Spangler slide job for the Moose. Up into the 3rd spot he goes. Loose was the 30. Templeton could get a run. He decides to be patient about it. But, oh, Goldner's on the wall. Templeton with the opening down low. He takes the lead on lap 5. Caution is out. Brandon Dittmer. And believe as well Bob D. Good is also involved. And hearing maybe as well Kyle Moonen and Jeff Kemper. Ooh, Kemper has lost the wing. May have been some extracurricular activity. Take a look and show you what happened. Ooh. Contact puts Dittmer and Wilson in the wall. Everyone kept it straight, but look how fast everyone's going. Oh my goodness! Heavy impact for Kyle Moonen. And then where does Kemper end up in all this? So he already has this accident missed. Does he hit Bandy? Bandy hits him, puts him in the wall. Nearly goes out of the ballpark and does 3 flips, make it 4. Wow. Right on board with the Spider Monkey. That was heavy. How about Kyle Moonen? Oh, just... he couldn't see anything. He tried to miss. He ends up riding the wall and does some front flips. And finally, Jeff Kemper. Now, this wreck is already finished. And he just hit someone of the caution flag. Just look how close he came. Getting forced onto the pits. All right, coming back to green after our first Gambler yellow. Gonna watch this from the Chapman Racing drone as we come back to the green. Stephen Goldner, Brandon Templeton, row number 1. Patrick Spangler, Joe Musso, row 2. Blake and Zach Chapman, row 3. Joseph Grandy, Jesse X in row 4. Preston Cranmer and Cody Graham round out the top 10. Terry Landis in 11th. He started 20th. He's up 9 spots in the opening 5 laps. Cody Graham laying back just a bit. Don't know if everyone behind him will like that. But Stephen Goldner holds serve on this restart. Templeton in second. Here comes Spangler. Can't get the slider to work. He stays right behind that number 31. Blake and Zach still side by side for position. That's for 5th. Could Blake go for 4th perhaps in the 63? He cannot. But now we go back to the race for the lead as Goldner's gone back to the point. Remember, after Goldner got the wall in turn 2. Oh! Templeton has to hang on to it. He caught the wall and got loose. Spangler backs out of it for right now. Musso has to back out of it. And at the line for second, it's Spangler with the advantage. And that puts him to second because the yellow comes out for John Hine. Bad luck for Templeton in the first 2 cautions. The first caution, he was out in front but couldn't secure it on lap number 5. Second caution flag, John Hine crashes. As soon as Spangler edged out Templeton, here's a look at the professor. Landis caught the wall, and as he's trying to save it, ooh, oh, head-on hit. The captain gets a piece of it. That's right on board. Second caution flies here at the Speed Palace. Again, as I've mentioned many times in the past, this is a dangerous track. Should be 1 lap to green when we come back. Again, World Finals begin tomorrow. And here's a look at everything. Beginning tomorrow night at 6:45 p.m. with qualifiers. Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday night, our non-qualifier event. And then Sunday, we have our soup night beginning. Stephen Goldner and Patrick Spangler, row 1. Brandon Templeton, Joe Musso, row 2. Blake and Zach Chapman, row 3. Joseph Grandy, Jesse Atkinson, row 4. Preston Kramer and Cody Graham round out the top 10. Goldner, the control car for this restart. Here we go. And Templeton, because he was in third, timed the restart roll to second, but he nearly goes around. And he could lose second to Spangler. May put him back in third, and it does. 3 wide behind them. And here comes Blake Chapman trying to break into the podium. Can't do so on the bottom. High side is the place to be, and you just have to hope the driver in front of you just makes a mistake. Musso makes the run for 5th. Gets past Joseph Grandy to take the spot. You see Blake has shifted back up to the top. Now this gets interesting. Now we get to see who has the better car on the high side. If anyone closes in on Goldner, we know driver behind is faster. Oh, Templeton's in the pits. Templeton left the ballpark. Oh man, that's a tough break. Right there, exactly what happened to Jack Hitt in the Rebels feature. Again, like I said, you hit the wall in turn 3 and 4, you could be done in a split second. And I legit mean a split second. Dittmer's crash, and he is out of the ballpark. That's in turn 4. That's right in front of DeZeus. As the caution flag comes out. Oh, he was already out of it down the back. No steering. Kevin Fry somehow suffers no damage. And look at the wreck side over side for the 83. Let's go back to that and rewind and see how he caught the wall here. Oh, he just rode it. But this is our first major incident of the night that happens in turns 3 and 4, which has been well known to be Calamity Corner in the past, and he's just gonna watch from right there. He's gonna watch from right there. This is gonna be just like Fallujah. We're about to see an updated meme of Dittmer watching. Just wait, this is gonna be good. And never mind, Dittmer's in the pits. I was about to text him and tell him, stay right there. Just get you watching. All right, I believe this will be our final double file restart. Because that was our third caution. And so with Brandon Templeton hitting the wall in turn 3 and put him into pit road in an instant, this moves Blake Chapman in the 3rd spot. And your biggest mover now is Jesse Bandy, started 22nd. He's in 11th with the Heisgenfeld top wing. Goldner, the control car, as we're back to green. Let's see if Blake Chapman can take second from his championship rival. He cannot. It could be 3 wide for third off for 2. Nope, Chapman able to clear Grandy and Musso for right now. But Musso thinks about throwing the DO! We got guys hooked. We got guys spinning all over the place. And we've got the big one. Landis upside down. That's the danger of the Speed Palace, folks, and we'll go single file for the rest of the race because of it. Musso and Grandy, it was just a big stack up Accident Graham, they get hooked, and then it's on from there. Graham went up and over. I don't even think he's going to bring the car into pit road. A lot of onboards to watch here. Let's go with the Pink Panther first. Kyle Moonen. Misses one, but can't miss Landis. And here's the wildest incident. Coming right here from the desert team. Terry probably didn't even know where he was. All right. We'll be going green this time by. And it is a double file restart, so I thought last one was the last one. This one may be the last one. As we're back to the green flag. Nice jump from Steven. Spangler hangs on to second. Now the Chapman's for third. Another crash. Kemper this time. And Bandy and Landis and X, a lot of the guys that were involved in the last caution flag. But we are, no, we're still green. I'm sorry, I thought we went caution flag. But we are still green. And we just about had a race for the lead, but then Spangler kissed the wall. And now we go to third. Zach and Blake Chapman again. Oh! John Hine pinballs the wall. Joseph Grandy hanging on for dear life back in the 8th position. Hine's got no steering. Grandy's in front of him. Gary Taylor has crashed. This should be a caution flag of the day as they are hooked. We have got a lot to digest after this one. Here's what we can tell you. Let's begin with Kemper. Gets Jesse Bandy. And he's possessed. How is that not a caution? I don't know. And then something happened to Gary Taylor. He hit the wall. They have a flat tire or something. And then here's where oh, John Hine got the wheel of Joseph Grandy, which sent him pinballing. The wall saved him. If not for that, he is flipping. He had no steering. Then Hine and Grandy were just hooked once again. Would not be surprised if this one's single file now. Let's see what they decide to do here. Nope, they're going to double them up again. I'm very surprised that with all the cautions that we have had, that we are still going to double up this restart. All right, Stephen Goldner, Patrick Spangler, row 1. Zach and Blake Chapman, row 2. Preston Cranmer, Chad Cote, row 3. Jeff Barker, Barry Goldner, row 4. Jeff Kemper, Terry Landis round out the top 10. Over 15 laps to go here at Port Royal Speedway. Zach Chapman could get second over Patrick Spangler. Let's see closely. Can he slide up? He gives Spangler the lane. And Spangler has second. But now Zach may try the slide job here. No, yaw. Spangler reads it well. Counters it back. Could Blake take the third spot at the line? He can't. But Blake is stuck down low. Oh, they touch briefly. And here comes Cote, but he hits the wall. Was in the 4th spot. Hanging on for dear life. Zach Chapman's now. Oh, Chapman spun it. In the background, we go to caution flag. Dang it. See what happened here. First, Cote catches the wall. Slammed the door in his face. Then he catches the wall in turn 3. Oh, I thought he went out of the ballpark at first. Then he actually net-coated. And second time tonight, we've had a huge spin in front of the Zeus. Luckily, because he doesn't have to tow it. Oh, never mind. I lied. He did tow it. So Blake Chapman now 3rd, Chad Cote 4th, Preston Cranmer 5th. Keep in mind that the driver that is in the 6th position at the moment, that's Terry Landis. We had a Wreck Fest, I think it was 2 seasons ago, and Landis pulled off the stunner and won. I think Steven's bored. I think he wants to do some wheelies for us. All right, we'll try this again. Goldner leads, Spangler 2nd, Chapman 3rd, Cote 4th, and Cranmer rounds out the top 5. And there are 15 laps to go. Goldner hits the bump for just a moment, but he holds serve. Top 3 stays single file because we got a lot of guys hooked. Oh, man. Oh, my. Kemper ramps it, and man, oh, man. Cote, Kemper, DeGood, Barker, Wilson. Everyone just all piling up. So now we know why the top 3 all pulled away. Cote catches Barker. They are hooked. And then, man, back. How Kemper doesn't flip there, I don't know. Got a lot of drivers to ride on board with here. Watch Cote. Kemper with the wild ride. Well, thought he was going to go out of the ballpark there. Bob DeGood. He stopped to actually miss it. That's a smart move. Give you one more here, Jeff Barker. His job to get it straight instantly. So this will be a single file restart now, as we'll have 14 to go when we take this restart. Once again, Fry down there. There we go. And there's a look at how the field looks as we come back to the green flag. As always, like we like to say, Goldner gets a freebie lap. Landis around the outside on Preston Cranmer. That's for fourth. Remember, they are teammates mostly. I should say they are teammates. I mean, actually, once they're both in the KSR team. However, though, this is the race we're all watching closely here. Stephen Goldner, Patrick Spangler, Blake Chapman. The three best drivers on Monday Night Madness without question. Here goes Spangler for the race lead. Slide job, Spangler. Can't get it to the point. But a risky move to test it out. I like the move to test it with 12 to go. See how it's looking. Got to get just a little bit closer. But he had a nice corner exit there compared to Stephen Goldner. I think this is where Spangler decides to play some possum. 135 into turn number 3. Top speed today is at 142. And they have a 2-second advantage on Blake Chapman. That lap from Spangler, by the way, quickest lap of the feature at a 16:90. He's hanging on for dear life. Horrible exit. Let's go to another race on track. How about Zach Chapman? Recovering from his spin in turn 3 and is in the 5th position. Tries to take the 4th spot from Preston Cranmer. Preston, your biggest mover of the race currently. He's up 12 spots. Actually, as I say that, Kevin Fry is up 13. Preston hits the bump. 7 laps to go when the leaders come across the line. Spangler with just about a 1-second lead. This is the best race we have on the track at the moment. Spangler, by the way, I don't even think we looked at the replay on how he got to the point. He did the slide job, then decided to play some possum. This was the pass just moments ago. Here's what happened. I think Goldner had a horrible exit. They went side by side for the lead. And Spangler says, thank you very much. Points leader coming in, trying to win at his home track. Won this exact same race last year. Only thing is, though, could be some lap traffic he has to deal with. Wilson lets him go. Atkinson should let him go. Even better thing is that Stephen Goldner and Blake Chapman, oh, that's not what they wanted to see. Now, what the leader wanted to see, I should say, is Barry Goldner went for a wild tumble off of turn 2. So that helps out the 2nd and 3rd place drivers. Is there contact with Barker? No, he lost all by himself. Man. What a ride for Barry. Just lost it and just pancaked the wall. So this should be a 3-lap shootout when we come back to the green. So again, Patrick Spangler leads. Stephen Goldner second. Blake Chapman third. Zach Chapman fourth. Preston Cranmer fifth. Joe Musso sixth. Kevin Fry seventh. Cody Graham eighth. Jeff Barker ninth. Bob DeGood. They round out the top 10. A 3-lap shootout to determine the winner here at Port Royal. Spangler holds serve once again. Bad exit from Stephen Goldner. Blake Chapman may have had to off the throttle just briefly. 2 sticks are up from Barney. 2 laps to go. Zach Chapman may make this a race for the podium. Stephen Goldner, though, not out of it yet. If he wants to win it, he has to go come and get it. White flag is out for Patrick Spangler. 2 perfect corners, he has it. But Goldner closes in again. May try the slide job in 3 and 4. It's a Hail Mary for the 30 as they come to the checkered flag. Stephen Goldner wins at his home track of the Port Royal Speedway. Blake Chapman able to finish in second. Goldner third. Zach Chapman fourth, and Preston Cranmer rounds out the top 5. Wild race at the Speed Palace, but able to finish it off right. And Patrick's going to take this in. Biggest mover tonight, Kevin Fry, up 15 spots from 21st to 6th. But Zach, I got to give you credit, man. You rebounded well to finish 4th. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. I think, well, I mean, if Cote looks at the replay, I hope he's not that mad at me. Blake threw that slider and definitely quicker than me. Not mad at Blake. I lifted, tried to get out of it. I just kissed his right rear tire and kind of got a little squirrely and ended up hitting Cote. But when I hit his right rear tire with my left front, it was broke, and I had no steering going in the corner. That's why you saw me ride the wall and ramp out of the ballpark. But it was a fun race.
Look at your results here. Spangler the winner. Blake Chapman second. Stephen Goldner third. Zach Chapman fourth. Preston Cranmer fifth. Kevin Fry sixth. Joe Musso seventh. Cody Graham eighth. Bob DeGood ninth. And Jeff Barker 10th. 11 drivers finished on the lead lap. A lot of cars wrecking out after that one. A tough break for a bunch of them tonight. Just need to get Stephen Goldner in here, and then we can begin with the proceedings. Don't forget, a reminder, World Finals begin tomorrow night right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we're looking forward to that one. All right, we're ready to go.
Guys.
Let's talk with Stephen Goldner, our third place finisher. Stephen, just walk us through that final lap. What more did you really need for Patrick?
I didn't really have anything for Patrick. I made a silly setup mistake there for the feature and paid for it late in the race. So congrats to Patrick. Hopefully we can do a little bit better next week.
Hey, you can't be too disappointed though. With 2 podium finishes, one of them from the back to the rear, and another one starting on pole tonight, and but still able to finish the podium and pick up some good points.
Yeah, it's a good night for sure. Yeah, car was good. Not as good as it was in the Rebels, so we'll have to look at the setups and see what we did.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the guys that Banny built, Ross Cornett at Velocity Race Designs, Moon and Racing Engines, you guys for the broadcast, Dylan Westbrook Racing for the title sponsor, Roger and everyone with the league, Fitz Perfect Photography, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
To our second place finisher we go in the Salesman and Blake Chapman. Blake, off the radar when it came to battling for the lead, but able to finish second, though. Walk us through your day.
Yeah, just looking to save tires early, which was pretty difficult on this track because that bottom was really, really gone by the time we got to feature time, unfortunately. But yeah, I felt like the car really came in there at the end. I felt like I was the fastest car there at the end. Just couldn't get around Goldner before that caution. If I would have gotten around him, maybe I would have had something for Patrick. But I felt like I might have had just a little bit more tire than those guys. And I think I had to put a little bit too much fuel in it. But now I know for next time, and hopefully I'll make the right adjustments.
What other positives do you take away from this one?
Well, I didn't get into the wall on a track that was really, really rough, and I wasn't one of the 110 cautions or how many ever we had. So staying out of trouble, that's always a good thing.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, I got to thank my parents and grandparents for watching and supporting all the guys down at the Krite Sim racing team. I got to thank Mike for spotting for me tonight. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. I also have to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
They have some very delicious popcorn. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. And I got to thank you guys for putting this broadcast on.
All righty. Well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight.
Thanks, Marty.
Blake Chapman finishing runner-up here with us. And to victory lane we go to talk with your winner, the high side banger. Patrick Spangler gets it done. Well done, man. What a run you had. You surprised me with the pass for the lead on Steven Goldner as we didn't see that live. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I saw him get into the wall coming out two, and then or 2 or 4, one of the two. And he got real wobbly, so I let off because I didn't know which way he was going because he just kept going left and right. So I just had to wait, and then super respective guy. He didn't try to just slide it back in front of me. He let me have the high side since I had the momentum and didn't cut me off. So big thanks to him. But yeah, just trying to hold on. Lots of cautions. Did not like the restarts because I ran a way taller gear than everybody else because they were smoking me at the restarts. I kept having to enter in the middle to protect the slider every time because the guys behind me were both getting runs on me into the turns just because it takes me a while to get up to speed with the gear ahead.
Was this a race where you really had to be patient since the high side was completely dominant? You were just hoping the guy in front of you would make a mistake?
Yeah, this is you're facing the track and facing the other cars wrecking, just trying to avoid them. You're not going to make too many passes. You'll get some sliders sometimes, but you have to wait till they make a mistake just because of how dominant the top side is. I mean, same thing in real life unless your Lance DeWeese can make the bottom work. But yeah, I got lucky in the heat race there. I did a cold trickle and didn't let up as they were wrecking in front of me and just parted the seas right through them and was able to get a high starting spot in the feature, which really helped.
Well, you get a week off from Renegades competition next week. However, though, we got some fun stuff happening with the World Finals. How excited are you for that next week at Charlotte?
Pretty excited. I don't really like Charlotte too much. We'll see how it goes. I might be gone the week after, so hopefully I'm not at work for town, but or out of town for work. But hopefully I'll be back in time.
Tell people why they should sign up.
It's always a fun event. Any event that C2C puts on is always top notch. I think it's all broadcasted again, so just super fun. You get to race cars you don't normally race, and you're racing against a lot of the same people you race, so you know how they race, and it's you don't have to worry about point standing so much, and more just fun racing and having a close battle because Charlotte can be fun, especially in the light models and modifieds. So you get people out of their comfort zones. You have sprint car guys driving late models and modifieds, and you get the other guys driving sprints. So it's fun to have them dabble in the other classes there.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just you for the awesome broadcast each week. And if Chapman was up there with you, shout out to him. He's always good side announcer for you. Roger run the league. Training was racing with Tyler and Dittmer. Tyler made a good heat set I ran today, and he was quick too, but he got caught in a couple of wrecks in his own feature setup. But Dan Uncle back home watching, and hopefully keep this momentum train going.
All righty. Well, we'll let you go. Congrats on the win. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Sounds good.
And so that is Patrick Spangler, your winner in Victory Lane this evening. Extreme E-Speed TV, Victory Lane. So bring you back in here, Zach. We'll bring the cameras back on as we wrap up here on tonight. Final thoughts, and as we move things over to the World Finals tomorrow.
I mean, first off, super excited about that. I'm all signed up. Not sure what night I'm racing yet. I don't even know if they've released that yet, but I'm really excited for that. Can't wait. Second, the racing was amazing tonight. I mean, I could hear you talking on the broadcast, and it seemed like it was exactly what we said. Real fast track, and things happen fast. So, I mean, all of a sudden, the guy's going to be wrecking in front of you, and you don't have time to do anything going 115, 120 mile an hour in the middle of the straightaway. So cautions are expected, but I think all in all, I had a pretty good view of the upfront racing, and they mentioned it in their interviews. Just some respectful racing tonight. I mean, we are getting so much better with that. You see guys like Spangler said when Goldner got loose, didn't come up, cut him off, and it's just that kind of track awareness. And I think we're racing with each other a lot. We're becoming friends, and it's a lot better racing. You can see it on the track.
Absolutely. Well, with that, that'll wrap things up here for us this evening. What a fun night of action here at Port Royal Speedway. On behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, are all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Cranmer, and the talented group of admins. On behalf of my broadcast partners tonight, Zach Chapman and Dean Reynolds, I'm Marty Sakala. Sign off. Congratulations to your winners, Brandon Templeton and Patrick Spangler. So long, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for the World Finals.